Well, hello, my good faithful YouTube viewers and listeners. It is the Jer Bear. Thanks for stopping by one more time. I know these daily rants are just pouring out of me. Today is Friday, December 18th, 2020. We are a week from Christmas. I hope everybody's doing okay out there, and I hope you're, getting prepared and ready for the Christmas holiday, and I hope everybody's doing fine, and I hope you're staying healthy and free from the COVID. And so there's that. I actually wanted to talk about something today because of the COVID pandemic. I wanted to actually get, just to open up about things in general. And I say this all the time, that I can't get, I don't want to talk about childhood cancer anymore because it's like a past life, it's like an incarnation, like I came from another life and I just passed through it and now I'm this different person. But see, childhood cancer is not something that I can just flip on and off like a light switch. So I'm going to talk about that today, and I just want to open up personally about some things surrounding that and why I got involved, and I know I've ad nauseum I've discussed over and over and over again why I've gotten involved, but it wasn't a choice. 2013 was when I officially declared advocacy, so to speak. But I've always been a natural part of that. For the past 30 years I've been a natural part of it. And in the beginning, I just want to talk about what I discovered, what I experienced. And truthfully, I became an advocate in 2013. And in the beginning, it was great. I felt compelled enough to want to get involved with this cause, and to just to reach out to as many people as I could. People whose children are also affected by cancer, or people who have actually, been through the ringer, so to speak, with, treatment and hospital stays and things like that, and haven't been through all that. So I really wanted to reach out to as many people as I could, and to connect with as many people as I could when I was on Facebook. Not for popularity, just to help get my story out there, to get some exposure for my story, for what I had gone through. And so that was the plan, was to just to allow for people to know me, to try to ingratiate myself into this demographic of people who are also directly impacted by it, like I was, and to give my backstory. And in the beginning it was successful because I had made so many friends, I had made so many different connections. And then eventually I got involved with charities, and just devoting my resources and every breath I took, devoting all of my time and my resources, not so much to the cause, but to the people. Because see, there's a delineation between people and the cause. From where I sit as a survivor, I had to devote my time to the people, because if you're going to devote your time to the cause, that's on a more superficial level, where I'm doing this, I'm doing all these wonderful things, but hey, look at me. That's where things get out of balance. So when I say I devoted my time to the people, that means I didn't care about looking good. I didn't care about popularity. I didn't care about notoriety. I didn't care about being on television. I didn't care about getting column inches in newspapers and magazines. I just didn't care. I wasn't trying to be a model for a cause. I was trying to be a human being for the people. And that's really where I was. And most of the people that, over the years, like I said, I had a lot of wonderful connections, or at least at the time I thought these were wonderful people who were in the same boat, and we're all trying to impart a message. What we've been through, we try to share with other people. Not for, I didn't see it at that time when I first got involved. I didn't see it as, we're sharing our story to gain a little bit of notoriety and popularity. I didn't see it like that even then. But I was naive in thinking that people would actually care about the people instead of the cause. Because the cause is just the glamour. It's just the glamour side of things. I don't care about glamour. I care about people. And that's where I am separate from everybody else, and it had taken me a good many years to figure this out, but it's like, it's no different from when I was a teenager. I did everything by myself, hardly had any friends, but I kept to myself when I was 16, And I guess with this it was really no different. I think I made a fatal mistake by getting involved with trying to show people that I'm quote-unquote one of them, when in fact I'm not one of them. The only thing we have in common is that I had cancer and so did their kids. That's it. And I can relate to their child's situation directly, and perhaps better than even their parents can relate. And I think that's the thing that really and truly grabs people in a sensitive area, in a sensitive spot. But I also started to understand and see things for what they were. The longer you stay, the more clearer things become. Like, everything is starting to become clear. Like, I'm getting a clear, vivid image of what's really going on. Because even when I was on Facebook, and every September, it almost felt mandatory. It's September. It's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, so I have to reiterate and rehash the same shit over and over and over and over again. It felt like a sales pitch, And when you try to get people involved, and you try to sell people on something, after a while, it just felt like another day at the office, business as usual. Another day, another Facebook post about childhood cancer. And when you get people involved, just like any business venture, it comes right down to the skin and bones of what's in it for me. And that's what happened. The what's in it for me attitude. These people aren't doing this for the people, they are doing it for the cause. Because they want their shining moment. They want to be the star of the show, so to speak. Again, I didn't advocate for the cause. I advocated for the people. I was doing a service for the people. I didn't give a fuck about the cause. The cause was irrelevant to me. Because I wasn't a cause. I was a patient. I was also a kid who spent a good part of his life, not just in hospital, but the checkups, the scans, back and forth to clinic. A good bulk of my childhood was being spent with needles and examinations and taking medicine. That was a good chunk of my childhood. So anything I did from 2013 on, like until about 2019, last year, anything I did during that time span, I was doing it for the people, not for the cause. And you can see it. You can see it for what it really and truly is. Now, I understand that advocacy is a way of getting things out. And activism is a way of getting the message out to a broader audience, or to a broader, expansion of the population of people. And I get it, because childhood cancer is not rare. I think we can claim moratorium on that and say, hey, we know that it's not rare, and if we know that it's not rare, then that should be reason enough to advance further and dig deeper for cures and for safer treatments for kids. I think we know that by now. We're well aware of that situation. And I understand, like I've said a lot of hurtful things about CureFest in the past. I've never been to a CureFest. I don't care if I ever attend a CureFest, because of the fact that, again, it's the superficial side of things. It's people who want to look more like stars, and they care more about looking good for people instead of actually saying, I don't care about an image. I'm here to help you and to serve a purpose to help you. Coming from my own personal experiences, this is why I'm here helping you. This is why I claimed advocacy, to help you. Not to look good, not so I can turn around and pose for a camera or, again, I wasn't looking for notoriety. I wasn't looking to be on the radio or on TV or in newspapers or magazines. I wasn't looking for the glamour side of things. I didn't want my face and my name plastered all over like, oh, Jared Fuller, oh, great one. He's the greatest advocate. He's really a guy who can get things done. He's a giant in the childhood cancer world. I didn't want that because there's no such thing as a giant. It's an abstract idea. What we all should have done, or what we should have been doing right from the very fucking beginning, is that we should have been focused on the people, not the cause. But people are more concerned about looking good, and that's what I was trying to get at this entire time, is the fact that when people are doing things more for the cause than for the people, when you do things, it's disingenuous, okay? When you're doing this just to make yourself look good, it not only does it make you look like you have no life, and this is, you're using another person's downfall, as a way to make yourself look better, like you're trying to make yourself look good at the expense of someone else. It overshadows and it outbalances the real reasons for getting involved, which is you should be doing this to help the people. You help the people and you say, you know what, I don't want the attention, I don't want the popularity, I don't want any kind of honorable mention, I don't want any, I don't want to take credit. I take credit in my own way because I know that I'm the one doing it. That's all the credit I need. I don't need Facebook likes or hearts or shares or any of that shit that, it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. What is it? It's just Facebook. It doesn't mean anything. So that's really where I was. It's like I wasn't doing it for the cause. I was doing it for the people. And, me and my big mouth, because I'm not going to be quiet about things that are happening within the bounds of advocacy and trying to get the message out. I didn't keep my mouth shut about Ronnie Duvall. That was the first issue I ran into. And I saw him for what he really and truly was. And that's when things started to get out of control. And that was the first confrontation that I actually had with someone from the childhood cancer world, because I spoke up publicly about him. And, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And then all of a sudden, all these rumors start coming out. And it's like, fuck it, I got nothing else to lose. These people pretty much look at me as an evil person now, but I'm glad that, and then eventually it started to get to the point where I just said fuck it, and I spoke up. I got a big mouth. I speak up about the actions of other people. If you don't want someone speaking up about how you behave or what you're doing, then don't give anybody a reason to talk. Don't give me or anyone the reason to speak about these things, because you're not doing yourself or anyone else any favors. So me and my big mouth, that's why I'm happily deviated and detached from the just even getting involved in raising awareness. I've turned the corner on that. Do I miss a lot of the people? Yes. I did it because I cared about them. I cared more about their children because they're the ones whose lives were at stake. And I do still care about their children, whether they're here or gone. I do care about them still. That's never going to change, because everything I did it for them. And it's getting people to understand that there is a difference between doing things for the people versus doing things for the cause. Mike Tyson, he does things for the cause. He can tell you, he can, oh yeah, well, he's done a lot of things for people. Yes, but he did it so he could turn around and brag about it later. That he is this wonderful, top dog, amazing human being. Which, if we're going to be honest about it, that's why everybody posts things to Facebook. Look at my life and look how amazing I am and look what I've done to help somebody else. These people who preach integrity lack it because they don't understand it, and they think they have a firm understanding of what integrity is, and that's the sad part about it. That's the sad part about it. Integrity is when you help somebody. You don't care about popularity or looking good or any of that stuff. You do it because it's the right thing to do. And you do it, like in my situation, being a survivor, I did it because I'm coming out of my own personal experiences to extend my hand to say, brother, sister, I'm here for you. I got you. What can I do to help you? What can I do to put a smile on your face? What can I do? Because I know what you're going through. I've been there myself. What can I do to make you smile? What can I do to make you happy? And I got to tell you, I've made a lot of kids happy. I've put smiles on many faces of children all over the world. I've, by helping them and meeting them and interacting with them and playing with them and saying, hey, what can I do? But I didn't do all those things to hopefully, I should be on TV. I should be on the radio. I should be on a podcast. I should be here. I should be there. No, because I was already in a good place in my heart. I'm driven by my own personal experiences to do the things that I've done. And that's it. That's it. But now that I'm not a part of that anymore, I'm not a member of, naturally, I'm going to always be a member of the child of cancer demographic. That's never going to change. I will be a part of that demographic until the day I die, and then even after then, I'm still going to be a statistic. I'm still going to be a +1 in that particular demographic of childhood cancer survivors. Unless, of course, the cause of death is cancer, but then I'm not a kid anymore, so I guess it would still be that, where I'm still a part of that demographic where I am a child of cancer survivor. This is the only life I've ever known, and it's the only life I'm ever going to have. So that's why I was so devoted to helping people, not so much the cause. I didn't care about the cause. But it did after a while. It felt like a business venture to where, and I saw that more and more. The longer I stayed, the more I seen it. And it's like, what do you mean what's in it for you? If you're going to get involved with this, you got to make it about the people and not care so much about yourself. You don't need, you don't need to be the talk of the town, so to speak, just because you help somebody. And there's far too much of that going on in the child of cancer world. The only way we should ever be heard, or should have ever been heard, is by uniting, because they want to refer to this as a community. It's not a community. We should have united we should have united. I can't emphasize that enough. We should have united as the community that everyone's claiming that we were supposed to have been, to impart the message. We should have banded together. We should have united together. And that didn't happen because they had picked and chosen specific people that they wanted to consider a community. And it just, if we're going to call the entire demographic a community, you have to include everybody in the fucking demographic. And that includes me. Okay? But after seeing the behaviors and the actions of people, because when I said, when I said I'm an advocate, that's exactly what the fuck I meant. I wasn't kidding around. I wasn't bullshitting anybody. And I lived up to that standard of advocate, and the people couldn't handle it because, you can't say that about him or her or whatever. The fuck if I can't. That was my attitude, and it still is. The fuck if I can't speak up about them? It doesn't make one bit of difference. That's what activism and advocacy means. It's not so much advocating for cures for cancer. It is also speaking up about people who are using this fraudulently to posture themselves as these wonderful, amazing people. They're using this for disingenuous reasons. I'm not going to be quiet about it. You know? And the problem, like with people who are indirectly affected, I have lots of friends who are indirectly affected by childhood cancer, and I even tried to get them involved with raising awareness. Even if you're sharing one gold ribbon, that's plenty, because one share can turn into 50 and eventually grow into epic proportions where your post is being seen and heard by thousands of people, and that one gold ribbon, oh, well, that's what that means, childhood cancer. Okay, so then those people are going to get involved and so on and so forth. That's what that was. But in honesty, I think to even try to get other people involved, I think for me was a flop, and I think for anybody else it was a flop. Because the people who have never had to witness this with their own children, or if they themselves have never had to endure treatment and agony and the feeling of defeat when fighting a disease, they can't look outside of the life that they know until such time as they have actually experienced it themselves. They can't prognosticate for themselves the travesty that childhood cancer is, because they've never, they can't look beyond their own lives. They can imagine how things might be, but until such time as they've actually had to see this for themselves with their own children, or even themselves going through the treatment, they will never be able to look beyond, they can't look over the fence and kind of get a sneak peek. That's really the problem. That's why so many people didn't get involved, because they couldn't look beyond the life that they already knew, because they've never had to experience it. Which is understood, and I'm not shaming or I'm not going to bash those people because they can't get enthused enough to get involved because they've never had to experience it. I'm not going to guilt those people. I'm not going to shame them. But I think that's what happened. That was the flop moment. Was that we couldn't get enough people enthused enough to say this is a serious thing. Children are the future. That's America's favorite punchline. Children are the future, but yet we have a funny way of showing it. We have we have this very atrocious way of demonstrating that children are the future, because if children are the future, then we would prioritize them to the point where something is really and truly getting done. And if nothing's getting done, it's not that we should be giving up. It's the fact that if nothing is getting done and we know nothing is getting done, then anything beyond that is just for the cause. You're just trying to look good in front of everybody. That's why, for me, I think I just got fed up with the idea that the cause is nothing more than a business venture, and these people who are indirectly affected, they get involved and they say, well, what's in it for me? That's where I really ran into trouble. And I think that's where the entire demographic ran into trouble. Because there's people who shouldn't even be involved, and they're using this as a way to improve their image, whatever their image is supposed to be, whatever that means. I don't know. But I mean, the only people who have an image to maintain are the people who are trying to bullshit somebody else. Like, most people know who you are personally. They know you are nowhere near what you claim to be on Facebook or elsewhere. And now you're trying to use this as a way to prove people wrong. Well, you don't get to do that. You don't get to use this as a way to improve your image. And that was something else I talked about. But for me as a survivor, this wasn't a way for me to improve my image, because I don't have an image to improve. I don't have an image to maintain. I am, in fact, a childhood cancer survivor, and I am doing the works of helping people. I am doing things to help the people. I was devoted to the people, not to the cause. And as I stated, at the beginning of this, talking about childhood cancer, especially during the month of September, and raising awareness and posting gold ribbons and creating graphics and trying to prove a point and to get the message out, it felt more like a sales pitch. And it just felt cheap to me after a while, because it's like this isn't helping anybody. This is really and truly not helping a single child. Because while many people will look at my Facebook and they will see what I'm about, they will see what I post about or what I talk about, it's not helping them one goddamn bit. They are still in the same situation. I mean, there's people, like the financial side of this, chemotherapy is expensive. Medicaid and health insurance is not like it was 30 years ago, like when I was sick. I mean, you get these people who are CEOs of nonprofit organizations, and because nonprofit organizations are there to serve the public. That's the functions of a nonprofit organization, right? We know this. It's a service to the public. And what happens is when these families are when their children are afflicted with cancer, the bills pile up so much to the point where if they own a home, they have to foreclose on their homes because they can't afford to pay the taxes. They can't afford to keep food on their table. They can't afford to pay the electric bill. They can't afford to pay the water bill. They can't afford to pay any expenses, because every red penny of what they get, they're trying to pay off these medical bills. And it's like climbing a mountain, to the least of which you're never going to get to the top of it. You're never going to get to the summit of the mountain where, hey, my bills are paid, and I got all the medical expenses covered. So what they do is they because they just can't do it. They can't handle it on their own. Their incomes alone are not going to pay for all this. So then what they do is they turn to help. They look for help from the nonprofit organizations. And as much as I hate to say this, it is the truth. Many CEOs of these nonprofit organizations, they let it go to their heads. Oh, well, these people were, in time of their desperation, they turned to me. Another golden opportunity for me to look like a big shot, because I'm going to save the day. I'm going to rescue these people from their financial hardships. And they're going to look at me like I'm a savior, like I'm God, like I'm the greatest thing that happened since sliced bread. I'm going to be treated like a saint because my nonprofit organization helped them. And this is why I had opened up about, listen, while it is nice to have a nonprofit organization and you should be happy enough to help those people, the nonprofit organization is not your fucking piggy bank. It's not your back pocket. This is money that people had donated to the nonprofit organization. It's not your money. It's the nonprofit organization's money. The functions of the nonprofit organization are to serve the public. And I'm not saying that there's no hard work involved in maintaining the nonprofit organization. Absolutely. I'm not denouncing that or denying that at all. It takes a lot of hard work. But the thing is that at the end of the day, it's not you, the CEO. You aren't the one doing the work of helping people. Your organization is doing that. And that's what I tried to get out to people as well, is these people think that it's coming out of their own back pockets, and it's not. It's money that they have solicited, I should say, from the public. So that way, collectively, they can help someone in their time of need. And then these CEOs, they get these swelled heads. Oh, they came to us for help. We were able to save the day. And then they take pictures of actual checks with the dollar amounts. I would feel very uncomfortable if I was in a position where I needed help and my downfall, my calamity, was used as a way to make other people feel superior because they have this insecurity about themselves that they're not doing enough. I would feel very uncomfortable about someone using my downfall to make themselves look like they're giants. I would feel very uncomfortable about that. And that's something else that these CEOs don't think about. And it's also on the side of the cause. You can help anybody, but at the end of the day, if you're going to plaster it all over your social media, like, hoorah, look at me, look what my nonprofit organization did, then you're doing it for the cause. Then it's disingenuous. If I had a nonprofit organization, yes, I would ask people to donate if they could, or if they felt inclined enough to do it, if they could spare a few dollars, to support my charity or my nonprofit. Sure. But I wouldn't go on and brag about the people I help or how I help them, because integrity starts when you help people and you say not a word about it. Those people will know that you help them. And that's all that matters. You know that you help them. So to those people I say, don't preach integrity if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know what integrity is. You lack it. And it's I see this with a lot of CEOs of nonprofit organizations. They prey on people's calamity to make themselves look like giants, to improve their image. Do you see where I'm going with this now, folks? Do you see what I'm trying to say? When I helped people, I didn't plaster it all over my social media. Helping people, if I can help a family of a kid fighting cancer, it's the greatest fucking feeling in the whole goddamn world. Anybody who's ever done that knows this. But I have never in my life went on and said, look at me, look how fucking amazing I am because I helped somebody. I'm making myself look big at someone else's expense. That's disgusting. I can't reason with that. And see, people don't. I have a lot of enemies now because I speak the truth and I'm very outspoken about. If I see an issue, I'm gonna speak up about it. If someone's gonna be a dick, I'm gonna speak up about it. If they're gonna be disgusting, vile, foul individuals, I'm going to speak up about it. But the reason so many people hate me now, I think, like I said, they've always had this bias against me anyway because I'm single and I don't have kids. But I am a childhood cancer survivor. They seem to overlook that part. But it was okay when I could do for them. And after having been treated like shit for so many years, and I finally had enough, and I've turned the corner, I'm bankrupt on fucks to give, I say, fuck you people, I'm done. Because you people, you can't distinguish between doing things for the people versus doing things for the cause. And you're just, when someone calls you out on that, when someone holds your feet to the fire on this because you know that you're doing this to make yourself look good, you know this, and when someone like me says, hey, what you're doing is disingenuous, you should be doing this for the people instead of yourself, that's when things get hairy. They already have this bias about me anyway. They have this preconceived notion about me that is incorrect. They have a bias against me that because the way I look, the way I walk, the way I talk, whatever. They've all got this big bias against me. And now, because someone is going to come out and say that I've said this and done that, and whatever the case may be, now they have a reason to have, something against me. Now they have a reason to walk away. And that's okay. That's fine. Because any real friend would not just up and walk out of your life. They wouldn't just as easily, at the snap of a finger, just get up and leave. So that tells me that they've already had this bias about me because of my looks or the way I talk, the way I walk, whatever the case may be, my clothes or whatever. Because I'm not mainstream. Because I ride against the tide. I don't go with it. And that includes childhood cancer awareness. I never, I wanted for people to see that I'm a childhood cancer survivor, but I'm someone that you've never met before. I'm different. I'm apart from that. I don't get involved with that. I am my own person. This is me. I want you to see a side of me. I want you to get to know me as an individual, apart from what I'm involved in. This is who and what I am. I walk alone. I work alone. And everything I've ever done for anybody, I've always done it on my own. Whether it be poetry, whether it be gifts, whether it be anything. Anything I've ever done to help a family, I have done it on my own. No one can say that, if it wasn't for me, Jared, wouldn't have done this or done that. That is a crock of shit. I have done everything on my own. Since day one, since I claimed advocacy, since I declared advocacy, I have done everything on my fucking own. No nonprofit organization, nothing. And I'm not saying I'm superior to people with nonprofit organizations, because I'm not. I'm not morally superior to anybody, but in certain particular situations, yes. But overall, no. I'm not a messiah to the childhood cancer world. A lot of people, I can throw some names down, a lot of people, but they know who they are, and they probably know I'm speaking about them. They think they are gods to these people who are in desperate need of help. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and you know what? The most insecure motherfucker is going to prey on that, so that way they can use someone else's pains as a bandage to their own pains. That's why I always say the childhood cancer world, it's a joke. It's a joke. That's why. That's why I say that. Because I cared more about the people than the cause. And I guess that was a fatal error on my end, because I really and truly cared. And I know that Christmas is coming up next week, and I was thinking about this. I had time to think, and I had time to actually sit down. And I did this yesterday. I think about when I first started as opposed to today. Now I'm having all these people coming after me, quote unquote, which I'm not a hard person to find. I don't care. It's because now, like I said, I'm just bankrupt on fucks to give. A person who is real and true and generous and genuine is being treated like a monster or some kind of a creep or a predator, whatever the case may be, whatever they're calling me on Facebook now, I have no idea. I don't see it, I don't have Facebook, and I really don't care. But however I'm being viewed now, which may be in a negative light, they will never tell you the positive things I've done. These people who I used to speak with, they will never tell you the good things that I've done for them. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to perpetuate a lie. They're going to jump on the bandwagon. Because at this point, just like high school, and I shit you not, it's just like high school, these people who jump on bandwagons, they feel like they belong. And that's really a shame, to perpetuate a lie. And I belong with these people because we all hate Jared Fuller now. Well, you can hate me. You most of you don't even fucking know me. You only read things about me and you assume that is the case. And I'm telling you, you're fucking wrong. But in any event, I'm not involved with that anymore. It kind of hurts because although I don't consider myself an advocate. I declare a moratorium on that too. I'm not an advocate anymore. I'm perfectly fine with not being an advocate anymore. I did what I thought I was supposed to do. I did what I thought I had to do. And it still wasn't good enough for the people. So, fuck them. I can get my life back. Yes, I'm a child, a cancer survivor. Yes, I'm still going to have the same, I'm still going to have the same issues as I've always had. I'm still allergic to the sun. I'm still going to be the same person as I always was. And I'm still going to have the same after effects from chemo. I'm still going to experience the same aches and pains as I always have. That remains the same until I die. I can live with that. But the thing that hurts the most is the people that I really and truly loved and cared about. And everything I did for them. And in closing, they were the reason I got out of bed every day. They were the reason that I got so enthusiastic. I got so involved with helping people. And I went to bed on those nights when I would go to charities, when I would make a new friend, when I would take money out of my own pocket and give it to families. When I was doing all of these things to help people, I put my head on my pillow every night. I put my head on my pillow. I had to remind myself why I'm doing this. I had to remind myself where I've been, how far I've come, what I've had to go through, and why I am doing the things I am doing today. I had to remind myself of this every single time. And when I would go, there would be times when I would come home late at night, driving long range distances just to show my love and support to these families and to get involved and to help people when I could. I did everything in my power to show these people that I was a good person, that I truly loved and cared about them. And it turned into this, after everything I had been through, it had turned into this great big smear campaign against me, where now everybody's going to hate me. And these were the very people, like I said, these were the very people, they're the reason I got up every day. They're the reason I was motivated. They're the reason I got involved with helping them. They were the reason. And now it's like I have no reason to continue on, so I walked away. After the way I'd been treated and lied about and talked down about, I have no reason anymore to give a fuck about what's going on. I can love and care about their children from a distance, but that's going to be about it. I'm not going to get involved with the more than four shit anymore. I'm not going to talk about anything that is pertinent to, raising awareness. Instead, I am still a survivor. I still have to live with the after effects of chemo. I still have to live with these things. This doesn't go away. And to the people who made these claims that I'm doing this for the spotlight or for attention or whatever the case may be, that's not even the case. You're not even on the same page as I am. If you're going to claim that I did this specifically for glamour and popularity, notoriety, if you're going to claim that I did it specifically for that, then you never knew me at all. Someone who survived, like myself, I'm not like other childhood cancer survivors. Like I said, I do my own thing, and I don't bullshit anybody, and I'm not going to bullshit anybody. But even still, when I was doing things, helping people, I wasn't doing it for the glamour. I did it for the people. And that's what I'm saying, I would come home that night, or any day when I would help somebody, I would come home that night, and I would put my head down on my pillow. I would remind myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing, where I've been, how far I've come, what I've been through, and why I'm doing what I'm doing today. It has nothing to do with maintaining an image. This, for me, was a very personal thing. And I loved people. A part of me still loves people. I mean, I'm not saying all is lost. I mean, I still speak to a handful of people from that demographic, in which I've met these people. I still keep in contact every so often. So I still have that going. There's still people who will keep in contact. But it was really disheartening to see the way people behave. And they perpetuate a lie. They jump on bandwagons. They have complete leave of their senses. They think that what they're doing is funny and hilarious, and that destroying someone's life by fostering a lie is the greatest comeback or revenge of all time. And really what it does in turn is makes you the most dishonest motherfucker in the world. Nobody should ever want to trust you or believe you, ever, if you're this angry at me for whatever the reason may be, that you're going to foster a lie and jump on a bandwagon. You are evil. No one should trust you. No one should care about you. And you do it without an apology. You do it without actually thinking of consequences. You do these things without thinking long term. You don't prognosticate these things very well. You don't think about what could happen in the future, because this is not just Facebook or social media. This is someone's life. And I think it's bullshit that because you don't agree with me or you don't like me, that somehow you think that you're justified in running my name through the mud and spreading gossip and lies about me. And that's just not the case. You people should be held responsible. You should be punished for what you've done. I don't know how I would ever make that happen, but you should be punished and reprimanded for the things you've done and the things that you've said about me that aren't true. But I wanted to get this off my chest because it's something that really and truly bothered me this whole time, and I'm still hurt by it. I mean, not so much the fact that I'm not hurt by people name calling or whatever. I'm hurt by the fact that the very people that I can personally identify with would treat me like an enemy. And based on what? A rumor, a lie. So if you're one of these people who are hateful and spiteful towards me, I really and truly want you to listen to this and to think about what it is I'm saying to you, because I'm not I'm not going to let off of this. I want you people to understand exactly what it is I'm saying to you. I want you to understand that this is serious. And everything I've ever done, I've always done for the people. I've done it for your children. And that's all I have to say for now, guys. I'll catch you on the next whatever it is I upload. Much love and toodaloo.